Hello everyone, it's Hannah Singer and welcome to my channel. So, a few things before we get into today's video. One, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm very much under the weather. So my energy's a little bit lower, my just entire body is tired. But I was not going to leave you all without a video, so I'm chugging some turmeric lemon water. How so not disgusting. Anyways, I wanted to still make a video this week, so I'm trying my best, bear with me. And also, the lighting is just kind of off right now because it's like a little bit darker outside, gloomier, and my room doesn't have the best lighting, so we're just gonna ignore that too. For the actual video, what you came here to watch, I'm just gonna share some tips on how to set realistic goals for yourself in the year 2021. So I brought with me my handy dandy journal, and I'll just be reading from my list. So number one on my list is to drop the instant change expectations. And what I mean by that is this idea of the new year, new me. I'll keep kind of bringing that idea up throughout this video because I think it's something that a lot of people talk about. They're like, it's a new year, new me, I'm gonna change everything, I'm gonna lose 5 pounds in the first week of 2021, or I'm gonna stop eating this, or I'm gonna restrict and do all these different things. And breaking habits is something that takes time, and change is something that not always can happen in the snap of a finger. And so drop those expectations, those instant goal expectations that you have for yourself, because most of the time those are goals that take a long time to achieve. And it's not that you shouldn't set goals, and it's not that you shouldn't have those goals. I think it's great to set goals. But I think that sometimes we like instant gratification more than we like the journey of actually getting there, which makes sense, but instant gratification is not something that works in our favor majority of the time. So I recommend just dropping those instant expectations for change and instead swapping that out with a long-term plan for yourself and how you can slowly build up to get that goal, which I'll talk about in a little bit. My next tip is to reflect before moving forward. This is super, super important, and I think it's helped me a lot when I've gone to make changes in my life. I think that taking time to reflect on your past and to recognize what has worked and what's not working is really vital for making long-term changes for your future and long-term growth. So instead of just kind of moving forward, take the time, reflect on the year, and see what you can keep and what you can let go of. So tip number 3 is to implement small practices as you let go of other ones that weren't serving you. It's kind of a mouthful. But going off of the last tip, once you recognize the things that aren't serving you in your life, you can start to kind of swap them out. So for example, this is a random one, but if you're someone who tends to graze on unhealthy snacks late in the day, prepare healthy snacks ahead of time and keep them in your pantry or in your fridge so that when you go to have a snack, you have healthy stuff already made on hand. Just little things like that that you can swap out in your life. If you're someone who wakes up and gets on your phone right in the morning, see what would happen if you put your phone outside of your room and instead purchase a small cheap alarm clock if you need an alarm. Just little things and changes like that that you can just swap out. Those are great ways to start to implement the healthy habits that you want in your life, depending on what you need in the next year. Number 4 is to give yourself the time and space to grow and change and shift. Sometimes we just want that instant change, that instant gratification, and so we don't give ourselves the necessary time and space that it takes to grow and to change and to shift our mindset or our lifestyle or our habits. So allow yourself that time and space, carve it out in your days, make that a priority, because that's how you'll have time to implement new changes, is by carving space, whether it's 5 minutes or 50 minutes. That's up to you and that's up to your lifestyle, but begin to slowly find those little pockets of your day where you can start to implement those shifts, and then that can build over time. Number 5, make sure your goals align with you. So please yourself first. Don't just think that you have to change your entire life because it's a new year. Instead, if you do see the opportunity for change, and if you know that there's things and goals that you want to achieve in the next year, make that clear, but have it in a line with your values and yourself. Don't be changing for anyone else or anything else, because this is your time, your space, your energy in the next year that you'll be shifting around. So you want to do stuff that's going to benefit you in the long run and that's going to make you happy in the end. So this next one kind of goes off of some of the other ones I've already talked about. But number 6 is to let go of that new year guilt. And what I mean by that is a lot of times this toxic feeling of guilt builds up when we're not achieving these goals right away, and when we don't have insane goals or don't know what goals we want to achieve in the next year. So instead of making yourself feel guilty if you've already started to go off the path that you set for yourself, or if you don't have goals to achieve, let that go and just live your life. It's as easy as that. I think a lot of times we feel the need to make so many goals going into the new year and say, I need to achieve all of this by this time, and if I don't, I'm a failure. And that's not true at all. And even if you don't say that you're a failure to yourself, it still kind of puts that guilt cycle going when you don't achieve the things that you set out to achieve. So start small. If you have goals, like I said before, and swap them out small, but also don't feel the need to make all these goals and all of these different changes just because it's a new year. Now, going off of that one, number 7 is that the year is just time. The year is not going to bring about changes. It's you who's going to bring about changes. So if you are someone who has goals and achievements and resolutions for the year of 2021, it is in your hands. The power and the choice is in your hands to shift your life. And a lot of times we put a lot of pressure on new year, all these changes are just going to happen. It doesn't really work like that. You have to be the one to go set out and achieve the things that you want to achieve, or to make the shifts in your life that are necessary for you, but only you can do that. Number 8 is to be gentle with yourself. A lot of times when we're setting new goals, it's exciting and we want to go out and achieve them all in, the shortest amount of time. I get that. I'm one of those types of people who I have dreams and goals and I just want to achieve them all. But it's important to just be gentle with yourself and to take care of yourself, and that's going to help you set clear intentions to achieve those goals. Number 9 is to not just clear your slate. And what I mean by that is that if you have positive habits that you've been creating in the year of 2020, don't just leave those behind. Carry those over and continue to nourish those. A lot of times we have this yearn to just start with a fresh, clear slate, and I understand that completely, but it's important to recognize all of the hard work that you've already done. Even if you think you didn't work really hard or didn't achieve little things, I dare you to look back on your year and to find those little wins and to find those little shifts that you already made towards a positive future, and then carry those over into the next year. It's okay to not leave everything behind in the past year and to start fresh. I think it's a beautiful thing if you started a practice and you want to continue that practice into the next year, and if that's your one resolution. For me, meditation is something that I've been working on for over 3 years now, but it didn't start to become such a big part of my life until last year. And that's something I'm still going to continue to implement as a practice for growth and for achieving my goals in the year of 2021. So number 10 is not really a tip for setting realistic goals, but it's more of a little exercise. I'm going to name a few questions, a little bit more than a few actually, that I was thinking of and that I think could help you set intentions for the next year. And whether those intentions have to do with goals and achievements and changes or not is totally up to you. So I recommend getting out a pen and paper or pencil and paper and jogging down some thoughts as I go through these questions. You can obviously pause this video because I'm just going to go through them one by one. So number 1, what lights you up? Number 2, what makes you joyful? Number 3, what can you invite into your life that is positive? Number 4, what can you let go of? Number 5, what are you scared to change or let go of? Number 6, how can you be grateful and love where you are at in this present moment? Number 7, what did you change in 2020? Number 8, what did you learn in 2020? And could you carry any of that over into 2021? And the last one, how do you envision yourself in the year 2021? I hope those help kind of jog some discussion with yourself for how you see the next year going. That is all for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed it. Again, I'm sorry, I know I have like very low energy right now, but I thought this was a cute little fun video where I could share my ideas about setting goals in the next year and how I like to look at that. You could totally agree or disagree with me. That is totally up to you. I would love to hear what your thoughts are. Leave them down below. Make sure you give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you have not done so. That would mean so much to me. I will catch you next Wednesday for another video. Always remember that the earth is your playground. Bye.
She's a Mona Lisa. Everyone's lining up to see her. There must be something about her features. You'll find her beauty goes much deeper once you get to meet her.